Okay. Older now, have to wear these. Okay, so I'm going to begin to tell my life story. If anybody's wondering what this is a manifestation for the dream property that I would like. Not black magic, because I don't do black magic. I don't believe in it, and I think it's wrong. I don't even do spells unless it's to protect me. Those are the only spells that I do. I do protection spells, bad energy, like clear bad energy type spells, but the rest of it, I have the Most High. I have Source, so I don't have to do any of that. I don't want anything that's not supposed to be there, so I don't mess around with other people's energy. I don't, the only thing I do is try to make sure my entire being is 100% right on. And I encourage the rest of the world to do that, because that's what we're here for. If you're paying attention to other people, what they got, what they're doing, how they're saying, unless it's to motivate you to be a better person, then you're on the wrong path. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And I get it. I've been on the wrong path my whole life. I was completely wrapped up in trying to be somebody in Hollywood, and I was never, I could never make the mark, not just because of the forces against me, but it was because I wasn't being authentic. So that's what happens. At a certain point, I started to become authentic, and that's really when things started to not work out in my life. But I also didn't know what my true gifts were and my purpose on this planet. I hadn't tapped in with that yet. I thought it was clothes and fashion and, music, which music is still part of it somewhere down the road. Let me get my tea. Hold on. Okay. Oh, look at my cup. Look how cute it is. Isn't it so cute? I love it. Anywho, so here's my life story so that people are like aware of at least of what I know about my life, because, I have tapped in and not exactly sure. Well, no, I know that the people I thought were my family and my parents, it's not exactly a truth. I come from a different bloodline, and there's some really dark stuff in there, but we'll get to that at the end. We'll begin with my birth. I was born in supposedly Katy, Texas, Houston, basically, in 1979 on May 3rd. We'll find out if that's true. I don't know. Seeing how I didn't even get a social security card till like 4 or 5 years after my birth. And there's a lot of people out there like that have that same situation. So I also have AB, RH negative blood, which nobody in my family, like none of it makes sense with the blood types. So there's that. Also, I was born into an upper middle class family. We had a big family, and I remember, my mom was a single mom with me and my sister, and we lived in an apartment building behind a grocery store and a Chuck E. Cheese, and I went to Nottingham Elementary. Some of my youngest memories are never following the rules. When I was in kindergarten, I remember my teacher was being really mean to me, and I used to have playtime, like at the very beginning of class. We would have like our 15-20 minutes of like playtime with other kids, and I was always in my friend Shelly's group. Well, she was upset with me about something, who knows what, because people were always mad at me my whole life, and all I was doing was walking around with a big smile on my face, and I had no idea, like, what did I do? This is a recurring theme in my life. So, she told me I couldn't be in that, so I just went, okay. So I walked over to where our we hang our coats and our, lunch bags, and I just grabbed mine, picked mine up, and walked on out. Walked all the way across the field, walked home. I was like, well, F you. So I've always had if you're not going to be nice to me, kind of like, but I also was later in life taught to put that down, that I couldn't be that kind of person, that I couldn't stick up for myself. Now, I'm not saying it's cool to like leave class, but I also think we should be homeschooling our children. I think the way I've gone about raising my child was completely wrong, but I've also had forces against me trying to make me not be a good parent on purpose, so that I wouldn't fully awaken to who I am, inheritance left to me, my real bloodline, and also my spiritual gifts that I have. They did not want me awakening to this whatsoever. So there was a plan. And I know it sounds, oh, this is conspiracy theory, this and that. Hey, to all of you who don't believe it, don't believe that this is happening to people and that there are more people like me, and you might even be one of them. If you don't want to believe it, there's a button. Scroll to another person and watch theirs. Watch their video. Watch their story. This is my story, not yours. And it's real. And I don't care who believes it. Because 1 + 1 = 2, which is a mathematical and spiritual principle, a law, a doctrine, something that cannot be changed. If you want to look that up in the dictionary, feel free to. But I do know what I'm talking about because it's my life, and it's all TRUE. So thank you. Good night. Or good morning, whatever you want to say. So back to the smiles and hugs. Unicorns. They're real. I'm sorry. Sometimes I just get a mental picture of like what people are thinking when they're like saying certain things about people. Like, what in you? What darkness do you have in you that you feel the need to say mean things to people? My whole life, I have never stopped to be like, oh, listen here, you ugly bitch. Oh, listen here, you dumb F. Like, never have I wanted to do that to anybody. I've always been the type of person who's like, I can feel people's energy. I can feel when people aren't authentic. I can feel when, oh man, that girl, God, she's trying so hard. But never like, I need to go tell her that, or I'm going to say something mean to make her feel less about herself, or him, her, whatever. No, not my character. Not going to do it. And if you are that type of person where your knee-jerk reaction is to say something negative to somebody else, I really think you should take a look into that. There's something there you're supposed to be learning from. If you don't learn it in this lifetime, you're going to learn it at another time. You're going to have to keep coming back here. And if you've experienced any hell at all here on this little earth, big earth actually, not compared to the galaxy up there though, you're going to have to keep coming back and experiencing that over and over and over again until you get it right. So I encourage you to stop being judgmental, especially if you say you're Christian, or believe in God whatsoever. I'm pretty sure that's breaking the 10 Commandments to be judgmental. Pretty sure, to attack your neighbor, like in any way, shape, or form. Okay? Love thy neighbor. Love thy neighbor. That means me. That means whoever else you just almost said something negative to. Everybody, even the ones who have harmed you. We're all here to learn from each other. Wake up, wake up. Anywho, back to, I'm sorry, I just keep seeing my hair look all fried in it. When you have to look at yourself doing this, it's very distracting. I'm learning how to just be like, whatevs. For the most part, I'm pretty good at that. But anywho, back to me leaving class. So I went back, and the principal came and found me, and they threw me in their car, and then they proceeded to beat me with a paddle when they got back to school. My mom okayed it, didn't have a problem with it. Not okay. I'm very glad they do not allow that anymore. I don't think that they do. But that used to be allowed, and parents were like, oh, sure, go ahead, beat my kid. Not like a tap, like full on beat. Don't get that one. My next memory was my mom wanted to go party, and she left me and my sister she went out on the balcony. I need to go out tonight. I will pay you X amount of dollars. I remember I was in the swimming pool and she was on top of the balcony. Who will watch my kids? And older teenager man decided he was going to do it. My mom was okay with that. Well, when she left, he proceeded to lock us in the room, and he started showing his whatever, taking his shorts. It was in the 80s, so like it was back then when those shorts were like exposed. They exposed a lot. Well, he did that, and then he locked me in the closet and was doing something to my sister, and it was absolutely mortifying because I could feel my sister's pain. I'm pretty sure she blocked this out because I think I've tried to bring this up to her, and she didn't want to have any part of it. She doesn't remember a lot of stuff. I guess that's due to her either gaslighting me to try to tell me I'm crazy, or it's due to the way she learned how to deal with things, which is fine. Her story is her story, and we all get to whatever we're supposed to be learning the way we do. Now, the one thing I don't remember is if I tried to tell my mom. I'm pretty sure I did. The other thing I remember about my childhood in that apartment building was I would like to leave a lot at night when my mom was sleeping. I would just get up. It would be like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, and I'd walk on out the front door. I'd go over to the grocery store. I'd play down in that, wherever they load the trucks in. I mean, I really, I have been protected my whole life, I think, because I always had a mind of my own, for sure. I remember I was always in trouble. And I was always sad. Like, I just never felt understood. I remember at my birthday party, we did this, game where you tied the balloons to people's legs, and you ran around and you tried to pop the balloons. Well, I kind of fell over, and somebody else won, and I just was so devastated. I mean, just devastated. Literally devastated. There's video of me going on over to the, lounge chairs and just be pouting, and that was kind of what I remember of my childhood. I remember pouting a lot. I remember feeling like I was disappointing everybody all the time. I remember being last for everything. I remember having vivid dreams. I remember having vivid dreams my whole life. And I remember talking to myself all the time. And when I would get picked up from daycare, I remember there was this median in front of Robert E. Lee High School in Houston, Texas, off of Derry Ashford. There was a median, and I remember going, well, if God made all of this. Now, mind you, nobody ever talked to God. I didn't, except for the Pledge of Allegiance and things like that. No one in my family talked to me about God. I was not raised with there's a God and here's the Bible, and that was never a discussion, ever. I picked it up somehow, somewhere. And around 8, I'll tell you a story around 7 or 8 that happened to me with church. When that started to become something for some reason, but we'll get there. And I remember going, if God made all this, what came first? I imagined the whole street with no people on it, and looking around and going, well, how did the median get there? There's got to be a God. But how did God get here? And I felt like, how can I not figure this out? I remember I was looking out the Buick. My mom had a, two-door Buick long, I don't even know what kind of car it was, but I remember looking out the window just being like, I want to figure this out. I want to know how. I don't get it. It was kind of I saw hypocrisies everywhere and I couldn't understand. That's what I remember feeling like my whole life. Like, if you're supposed to love me and take care of me, why aren't you doing that? If you're supposed to, like, all of these questions have been a major theme in my life, and I am pretty sure that most people that are similar to me have felt that way. At first I was going to break down my whole life and this and that, but I think that the importance is more about how I felt, and, rather than the actual, some of the situations are important. So from there, my mom, did go out on a lot of dates. I remember trying to run away many times before the age of 5, packing my stuff, getting out, no one coming to look for me. I also sucked my thumb, and I had a blankie, my baby blankie. And my family was always stealing it from me, throwing it in the trash. Then they finally managed to burn it, but I would get it out of the fire. I would go find it in the dumpster, which is also how I found a lot of my clothes. My family could not stand the way I dressed. I would find clothes in the dumpster all the time. I was a first class dumpster diver. I was the first. Trust me, because I was doing it from a young age. Dumpster diving was my thing. And I would come home with quinceañera dresses and, these boots that had like, my family just really, they were like, oh my God, with her. And I wanted to wear them. There was no stopping me. I mean, I'll show you some pictures. In fact, I really should show you some pictures. I will in the next video, because they're great. I also, if my mother wouldn't pay attention to me, which was often, I would go into the bathroom, pick up my hair, get scissors, and cut my hair, thinking it was going to hurt her. That was a theme also in my life. I'll show you. When I really just ended up showing myself. Luckily, I would ultimately listen to myself, because it seems I only had myself to listen to, and the Most High Mother and Father, and which to me goes back to Orion, Osiris, Horus, Isis, Enki, Elil. I mean, I can't pronounce the Quetzalcoatl, but I know who he is very well. I have tried. You know what? I'm super smart, but I'm also super, nope. I'm not even going to try. Quetzalcoatl. Whoever knows, but I know who all these people are, and I respect them greatly, and they're all a part of us. It's all about what we let in and what we choose to accept in our life. I choose to believe in the light. I choose to believe that we're all one. I choose to believe I have a light and a dark side. Star Wars, I have loved since I was a child, and now I know, when I started to become awakened, now I know why. Now I know why I was so into Star Wars. It wasn't because I loved all the characters. I never was like, oh no, this one's my favorite. I mean, maybe when I was a kid, but I've liked them all, like all of them. I have had the hardest time choosing what my favorite character was. I sincerely appreciate every single character except for Jar Jar Binks. I mean, I'm sorry. And no, I'm not some Star Wars nerd, and I know the whole plot against it. I know the plot about it and every story and what this meant and this person meant. No, I get the fundamental idea about it, and I like it, and I like the storyline, and I like the characters, and I get it on a level I can't even describe. And I don't need to know the whole thing and every last bit of it to feel it in my heart. So everyone who thinks that you need to know, okay, Here's an example. One of my favorite bands of all time was The Sword. My friend brought me to another sword concert. He happened to know that anyway. And I was going to go back and finally meet them. And I realized, I mean, I'm telling you, I die hard sword fan. Die hard. Know every song. Like, they're... Now I also know because my Akashic name is Oshira. And that was also my favorite cartoon as a child. But it doesn't have anything to do with She-Ra, but it just means that that's the kind of power that I have within me. And now I put it to play. Like, come cross me. All I'm going to do is pull up my sword. And I'm telling you, I'll pull it up. I will pull it right on out of that stone. I don't even have to speak words. And I don't have to hurt you with the sword. I'll just show you the sword. And because I'm here to do God's work. I'm here to do Source's work. So a lot of the time when I say God, people may think I'll go back to my old, belief system of it's a man. No. It's a man and a woman. And it's all within us. All within us. And we either choose to be enlightened to it and have the wisdom of it and search on how to create and breathe love with those wisdoms and ancient secrets, or we don't. The frickin' Matrix right now is making it incredibly difficult for people to find the true meaning and the true love and light out there. This is not some attack on an individual for not getting it, not knowing. It's made by the foods we eat that we can't connect, that we can't get right here in order to get right here. The psychiatry, psychology, it's all BS. It's all BS, all made by government, and not everybody in the government is bad. I'm talking about the people that decided that they wanted to make money more than they cared about the individual coming together as a whole. That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the people who care more about making money than slowing down, making huge beef cattle farms that's killing our planet, the soil, people who are overproducing fruits and vegetables that have been tainted with Roundup, that clone corn, all this stuff that goes into the soil that's killing Mother Earth. People who care more about big pharma, the people that are trying to make money and kill the individual and have them do their dirty work. And then turn around and act like it was the pawn's fault. No. We're done blaming the pawns. We're done blaming the pawns. It's all y'all out there that care about this and not about this. You're killing your own planet that your children you're trying to make all that money for are going to be having their grandchildren on. What sense does that make? What sense does that make? If I ever come into money, please, can I pay you to stop? Can I pay you to stop? I will give you every last dime I have if you stop killing the planet. Please. You got to take your ego and your power, your need for power out of this. We are killing our planet. Wake up. I beg you, really, I beg you from the bottom of my soul. We have done enough damage. Enough damage, all for $1. All for $1. Oh, it makes me sad. It really does. Anywho, back to whatever the hell I was saying about my life. I'm going to need to take a moment. This is going to be part 1.